continuing our muser class, we are going to write two functions. I'm going to put mark and call this return current user, and these basically the functions that we are going to use in order to find out if our user is locally saved or no. So we are going to say class func, so this is class level func, and say current ID, and this is going to return a string, and this will return the ID of our current user. So I can say return, and then we access our authentication, get authentication running, and then we get access to our current user, which is a user object, and this is from Firebase, so it's an optional user. We're going to unwrap this and say UID, which is a string. So if our Firestore has an authentication, has a logged in user on our device, this will have the current user and it will return the user ID. Then we need another function, which is a class func as well. Let me just get rid of this. And this is going to be our current user. So this, instead of returning a string, which is the ID only, it's going to be returning muser object. So it will return the user object that is currently logged in. And this is an optional because there may be no users logged in. So we say if authentication, and we access our authentication, and check if current user is not equals to nil. It means we have some kind of user authenticated on our device from our Firestore. And if we have this, we are going to check also if we save the credential in our user defaults. So apart from Firebase keeping a local user, we are going to keep our local user also in user defaults, just some basic information about our user. So I say if let dictionary is equals to user defaults dot current standard dot object for key, and our key is going to be k current user, because this is the key we are going to save our current user to our user defaults. When we register our user or login, we will save it there. And here we want to just check if there is this key exists in our user defaults. So if it does, it means we already had saved our user. So we're going to say return, and we're going to use muser, and we're going to init with an dictionary, and we're going to pass our dictionary, which is here, and I need to specify that this is as ns dictionary, and this way it will get whatever we saved in our user defaults and return as an muser object. So these are the two functions that are going to return our user ID and or we return our user. There is a error here because we are promising to return an muser and we are returning something only when we have a user. Else I'm going to just return nil. If this is not the case, I'm not going to write an else statement. It just, if this is not the case, we're going to return a nil here. And this should remove our error there.